Hello, Twitch. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Hopefully all are well. Having a good end to their week. Beginning of their weekend. You know what time it is. Coffee time. 30 minutes late, but coffee time. After I finish tying my apron. There we go. Got the immersion circulator out tonight so you can do degree perfect eggs. But first let's get this coffee together. I freshly ground some for tonight. So if you're keeping track, you can figure out how often I grind coffee. And then some of it binds up in the bottom of the grinder. Give it a little shake with the spoon in there. Turn on our scale. So tonight's dinner, which I have such a descriptive dinner title tonight, is going to be beef ramen with local veggies. And I actually gotta pull the beef out of the freezer still. That's how far behind I am today. Ooh. You stay right there, filter. We'll get into everything with dinner here in a moment. Then again, some people like cream core. Oops. Board zoom, not stove zone, stove zoom. Cheers, folks. I didn't even look up what egg I wanted for tonight. I will say that I do my eggs or immersion circulator or sous vide, or it's not really sous vide because it's not in a bag, but however you wish to frame it, precision cooked. Let me check here. Okay. Turn on our immersion circulator back here. We're going to set it to 64 Celsius or 147 Fahrenheit. There we go. With that. But before that, we're going to get some water boiling on the stove here. Because I prefer to set my whites before I put them in immersion circulator, because what happens when you cook an egg at a low temp, you can cook an egg at a low temp and get that perfect yolk that you want, but you're going to have real trouble getting a good solid white to go along with that runny yolk. And so I'm going to use essentially two forms of cooking an egg in order to get what I think is that near perfect egg. And what I'm going to do is boil it in the water for about 90 seconds, a little bit less, minute to 90 seconds, and then put it into the immersion circulator. That way it gets a little bit of time on that egg white, just enough to really just shock it and solidify it, and then we'll put it into the other one to allow it to carry over cook and cook to the proper temperature. So, high flame on our pot down there. It's still a little bit scarred from that polenta incident, But we're doing local ramen tonight. Or, people are going to scoff at me even calling this ramen. But we at least got most of the typical ingredients you find, including 2 varieties of seaweed from Northern California, both wakame, which I'm probably butchering the name of, and nori. I normally hate nori. I can't stand sheets of nori. I have not tried this before, but this is very much not sheets of nori that you're normally used to. This is more like wrinkly dried chips. So we'll see how that works. We're going to add both of those to the broth. We've already got the beef broth, beef stock made earlier in this season. Let's see if we got enough in this freezer, or if I have to break out the stock from the other one. That's chicken, that's chicken, 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 chicken. 1 beef stock in the freezer here. The rest is in the front. Okay, so we have our own beef stock and our own beef from locally raised steer. We've got Northern California seaweed. We've got Sonoma grown mushrooms. We got 3 varieties in there, but we're really just going to be using these ones over here. Actually, we might be using these. We'll wait until I break into it. Those stems are looking a little bit meaty for what I'd want. You got a head of bok choy. We'll chop up and use for our greens. Whole bunch of green onions. Got a little... picked up a jar of hoisin sauce, which I'm going to use to marinate the beef with. And last garnish I have here is local grown microgreens. It is specifically radish, not pea. So that's what's going into tonight's dinner, along with cab sav from Sonoma. Give me a moment here, I'm already breaking a sweat. I know it seems like I've done absolutely nothing on stream, but even though I delayed the stream so I didn't have to rush, I still rushed. Perhaps a sweater for this stream was not the most ideal choice. Got 12 minutes until our first battle of Stream Raiders. It's gonna be a good one. Whoever gets in there's gonna be lots of gold. It's a gold chest level. They can get rid of this. I was just using this to fill the immersion circulator. Okay, I'm gonna get into the freezer here now, which could be a project in and of itself. Hi there. Why don't we do a quick AFK? I'll be right back.
A pleasure, Milton. Just a moment we'll see how well Milton does at the Pentagon. But if you want to see busy hands at your house, just you offer this lively Christmas party dip that's so good to serve with king-size Fritos corn chips. Just follow the recipe right on the Fritos package. Of course, it calls for the famous Philadelphia brand cream cheese. An 8-ounce package, which we blended with 2 tablespoons of milk till it's nice and smooth, like so. Then come 2 tablespoons of Kraft cream-style horseradish for zesty flavor, a 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and finally a dash of salt. And we'll blend our Philly mixture again. And when party time comes, let the folks enjoy this wonderful Philly horseradish dip with crisp king-size Fritos. There are those busy hands. Just remember, you make the best-tasting dips with the freshest-tasting cream cheese you can buy. Philadelphia brand cream cheese, made only by Kraft.
Schmidt Blue Ribbon Bread gives you 7 ounces of non-fat milk solids in every loaf. The equal of 94 quarts a year if you serve it regularly. Every sandwich you make, every snack gives you extra milk. For wonderful flavor combined with sound food values, serve Schmidt Blue Ribbon Bread in the Pan Pack.
Next week, George and Gracie will be brought to you by Carnation.
Hiya, happy boy. Wish you'd been with me today. We saw a great dog show, some beautiful dogs. There was the handsomest poodle, a real beauty, an international champion. His owner gave me some good advice.
There are many dog foods on the market, but the Carnation Company makes the best. It's called Friskies, and it's quality all the way through.
You should have seen the champion collie. He won everything in sight. The handler told me.
A very important part of this champion diet is meat. That's why we feed him Friskies. The principal ingredient is lean red horse meat, the best you can buy.
So happy, you're getting real quality, and you're going to get your Friskies right now.
Friskies is prepared to the high standards of Carnation Company and guarantees prime-grade nourishment.
3, 2, 1. Keep up. Time and ideal countdown control. Ready for second launching.
Moving into position.
Okay. Got our beef back out. That was just a little bit awkward because I forgot that I had to pick that up out of the freezer and had the plant and a couple other things in the way. Just, yeah. But I grabbed a quick piece of steak, in fact the filet, and some beef stock. So we've got 3 packages of beef stock. Not the biggest batch of ramen you've ever seen, but just for myself, it'll work all right. So we'll start by getting our eggs going here. Since our eggs can just sit in that bath and hang out. I am going to do 3 eggs. About 40 seconds there. Oh, music back on. Okay. Now I'm going to throw those in there. Go from here to the immersion circulator. Hope as they go around they don't whip into each other too much. Hopefully they'll sit in that corner. Sort of doubt it though. We'll see. Done with that for the moment. get our broth defrosting. Or stock. Let's do this over this burner to start. So that stock was made previously on stream. Oh, let's see. How long ago was that? It's written on the bag. 9/12. So, towards the beginning of last month. Been frozen in the oven since. How come you only gave the eggs like a minute? I'm looking for a semi-set but runny yolk, and so I only cooked them in the boiling water for about a minute to set the whites on the outside of the egg, because if you cook it at a lower temp that I want for the egg yolk, the egg whites just become this like cloudy mess, or they don't quite solidify, and so doing that before. Nice, that sounds tasty. Yeah, that sounds good. So I've got a fillet out of the freezer from the quarter steer. I've got some noodles. I've got radishes. I've got mushrooms. Didn't pick up any, like, there's classical spices that a lot of times they'll use with different ramen dishes. Not really doing that so much tonight. But then again, I'm not Mr. Authentic Ramen. I'm not Mr. Authentic much of anything. Let's see here. What do we start with first with prepping? Let's get our bok choy chopped up. Since I don't really need that big, I didn't have baby bok choy available, So we're wasting it a little bit. But I'm still going to give that a rinse because I still see dirt there. Still had a bit of the heel there, so I went a bit deeper. Core, heel, whatever your terminology. Stream Raiders battle time. Me and Inchby versus the world. Ooh, in that case, let's do a little of this action. Don't fall apart on me. Victory. Victory. Congrats, Entropy, on the 200 gold. On to the next map. I'm gonna put a pally out there and see what pops up. See what we get in 30 minutes. Okay, so I chopped that bok choy in half and it fell apart on me. But we're just looking to do this is our greenage for tonight. I'm really descriptive in that tonight, aren't I, Bun Buns? Hello, hello. So we've got bok choy, which we're going to saute along with a little onion. No, I am not. What type am I using? Untraditional udon. I was waiting for someone to call me out. No worries. Don't have the greatest... I mean, we have Asian stores, and I probably should have gone to the Asian supermarket. But as far as the local markets that I have my choices are very... I mean, I've been to places where my choices are much worse, but even still, there isn't a great selection. Nope, I'm doing the more tannic welcome in. Doing more of a onsen egg or something along that line. I forget what the temp on the onsen is, and because I boiled it beforehand, obviously it's not the same as sitting in that perfect natural bath in Japan. It's a dark red onion. Like, I'm worried that's gonna bleed into things. It's that dark. Like, that is a dark red onion. Glad the eggs aren't moving around too much. Though I doubt the temperature right there is perfectly what it is in the first side. It's what we can get. We don't need this other half onion. Let's see what we're doing for mushrooms here. Mushrooms we're just going to cook with the broth when it's in there. So I was initially thinking these because these were closer to gnocchis. I was wanting a gnocchi, but didn't see any there, either organic or inorganic. So we're going to go, I think, with these candy cap alternatives. Yeah. I think that's going to be just slice and throw in there, so we don't need to do too much prep with that. The rest of these we'll figure some other project out with later on. Let's get this beef defrosting. Throw that in the bowl in the sink with some relatively warm water in it. While we do that, I'm going to get together my marinade of sorts for our beef. Get in there. The broth we have back here is the beef broth that I made a while back, but I am going to throw a little miso in with the marinade for our beef. Keeping in mind we're just doing single fillet here. You don't need tons and tons of stuff. And then some of the nicer soy sauce I have in the house. I have the cheap stuff and I have the fancy stuff. It's like I don't even know really where we would put this in the terminology of, I mean, I'm not that much of a ramen head to know where this would fall. Would this fall under a soy ramen, or would, I mean, there's no real beef ramen. And I'm using both soy and miso words. Feel alright, Bun Buns. You're feeling problems typing. I can't even speak. Defrost beef. Defrost. Defrost. Please defrost. Speaking of that too, we need water for cooking our ramen. What type of coffee? What coffee I have pretty much all the time, which is a local roaster. I'm much more of a fan of advocates, people finding something local roasted that they like, that's made fresh, versus, I mean, yeah, technology allows us to vacuum pack a pound of it and send it to you anywhere in the world, but, you know, once you open that pack, I'm an advocate for grinding it fresh, making it roasted fresh. If you're advantageous enough to roast it yourself. But as far as the coffee I'm drinking, yeah, just local roaster. I'll leave it at that. I've tried most of the local coffees in town. This is my choice for an everyday drink. Not necessarily what I would say is an amazing coffee. It's not outstanding. It's everyday drink. I don't know, coffee's sort of a touchy subject for me after this whole business thing that I was doing, because I started up doing coffee with my business, A, for attention getting to my stand so that I could sell my other products, but also because there was a local roaster there that didn't really have the staff to be working on the weekends at the farmers markets when they were trying to be selling their coffee. I don't drink their coffee anymore after what happened here. But it went from, me selling their coffee at a bunch of different farmers markets and helping them out with marketing all over the place, to them deciding they wanted to take over my market spots and, cutting me off of that avenue. And it was either allow them to take over these spots in the farmers markets, or we're going to cut you off from coffee. And so I switched coffees. Thank you, Bun Buns, but... only a little bit more, and then we'll be ready to go with our... not pasta pot. Our ramen cooking pot. And they were prepared to do that. Yeah. It's early for that. Yeah, it's just water, but it's leaving a watermark. Sorry for the clanging. Thank you, Bun Buns. Toss these up. I'll be right back. Oops. Tweeted no, Bun Buns. Come on, steak, defrost already. There we go. There we go. Okay, we're gonna take a second here. I will use the mini board. I try not to use this little guy anymore, but it's got a split going down it where stuff can get stuck in it. So I'm trying not to use it too much. But for this, it'll be fine. We have another one of these butchered fillets. You know, where they were worried about time to cut the fillet more than definitely save that, goodness. I'm torn if I want to pull this. That is silver skin there. I'm just torn on if it's thick enough versus the loss, whether I want to take that off. I think I'm going to leave that on and eat around it. We still got a nice little tendon going right there. You see that? Lovely. Going. You know, let's just take this whole side chain off. So there's your traditional fillet, other than that would be cleaned up a little bit better. And then this is what your tips are supposed to be made out of, but most times they're made of stuff much cheaper than that. This is junk. This we're gonna melt down and actually use to drizzle over the top of our ramen, give ourselves a little flavored oil. Not that our beef stock doesn't already have some lovely oil going on there. Thank you, Bun Buns. I appreciate the follow. So we'll go back to our marinade here. We've got our steak. I'm just gonna go in there full bore and allow it to just hang out in the sauce. Throw the two tips in there too, why not? So I'm just gonna pan sear this when it comes to time. We'll let it hang out there until then. Okay, stock or our broth is up to a boil, so that's going on the back burner now. Onion's definitely my inclusion here. Hey, Hud. Happy Friday, early Saturday. Likely one of the Formula One races this weekend that Europe doesn't like waking up for. Whereas, it's perfect for me. Nice, nice, nice. Garlic's acting very well dried. Hopefully it's much better than the last bunch I got. I was not happy at all with that last bunch of garlic. I don't know if you noticed how many of them were showing their age and were showing infections or something getting into them. These are seeming like they got nice dry shells on the outside. You can tell just by feeling. Let's go in that direction. Well, I'm calling it wine country in that it's all local ingredient focused. Some of it is not local, like this hoisin sauce is just generic hoisin sauce and all that good jazz. But we've got Sonoma wine, we've got beef broth and beef fort that are locally raised, and we've got locally raised mushrooms, got locally raised microgreens for a garnish, got locally raised or locally foraged seaweeds for use with our broth. And actually I'm going to add some of this wakame, which I'm probably butchering the name to, in with this broth. Very cool looking stuff. We'll throw that in the stock. And one more. And then we've got nori out of Northern Pacific, which certainly doesn't look like those flat strips you find everywhere else. We got our rainbow radish sprouts, which radish sprouts have become one of my favorite salad items. These ones got some nice long stems on them. They're looking to profit, but they're usually spicy, peppery, but they're a green. You know, and it's a little like adding jalapeno to your salad without there being pepper. That's our battle being ready. I'm going to finish chopping this garlic, then we'll do our battle. So we got some garlic. Now we need some ginger without the label on it. Use the spoon I used with the miso here. And I'm just going to snap that one little thumb off, and that's just going to go in the broth. Actually, we'll slice that and throw it in the broth. Throw a little bit of the garlic in the broth, since it's just our normal beef stock that I did earlier, so there's no real garlic there already. Spoon is the best ginger peeler you would never had. Or ever had. People use tons of garlic or tons of ginger, and they hack it all to pieces trying to get the skin off, which isn't really that bad if you leave it on in the first place. Any sort of soup or stew or something like that where it's going to be cooked for a long period of time, just leave the skin on. But this is more the garnish. This is gonna get sauteed with the garlic and the onion and the bok choy. Dijonnaise or mayonnaise with Dijon mustard, or Dijon mustard heavy mayonnaise. Is that still a name brand? I thought that used to be a name brand. And then if you're doing it something like this where you're going to leave it into the final ingredient, you want to cut against the grain. You notice ginger is a very fibery ingredient, and yeah, there we go, a little focus on that cut up thumb, on those cut up thumbs, but very fibrous, and so you got to cut against the grain if you're gonna leave it in something. Well, here in the U.S. we've had several waves of, I would think, Dijon mustard fame. Like, Grey Poupon sort of come into big popularity a couple of times over the years. That or their marketing ramped up a couple of times over the years. No, but I have a meme of Monster Energy mashed potatoes in the Discord under the memes channel. So we're sitting at 64.2. This is just chilling back here. That's looking lovely. Back here on the stove, our broth is looking lovely. What is next on our subjects to accomplish? I think I'm going to be chopping a bunch of green onion next, or scallion, depending on who you chat with. I'm going to throw the garlic and ginger into the pan at the same time here, so we'll throw them in the same bowl. I need to finish up this coffee. I've only been sipping on that for an hour now. Though by the trend on the stream, that's an early finish of my coffee. It's usually more like an hour and a half to 2 hours in, if not even later. So I'm going to start by rendering a little of this fat in the pan down here. This little bit of beef fat that we got off of our tenderloin. I'm both gonna try and coat the pan here a little bit. And hopefully we get enough to make a little bit of a liquid. Might have to add some oil with this, some neutral oil to go along with our. In fact, I'm gonna do that just so that we have a good amount. And then I have some really old Thai bird chilies, or bird's eye chilies, or these are years old, dried. They've just been chilling in my spice drawer forever. I'm gonna throw a couple of those into that. Hopefully they'll give it a little bit of heat. One of those ingredients that's been sitting in my... might as well throw both of these pieces in there for this project too. But one of those spices, it's just been sitting in the drawer for ages. And hey, I'm forgetting the battle again. Let's do our battle. Let's do our battle. You got one way over here. And let's just go with haste. Nice guess there, Tannic. Tannic getting all the kills and assists there. At a cost, though. At a cost. Who's gonna get those rewards? Bun Buns and Tannic. Congrats. Now got that pan down as low as it goes. Next map, let's see. We go for the blue chest. I think we should go for the blue chest, so I'm gonna go down here. For the Zerg! I'm gonna put a monk out there to defend whatever you folks put out there. Or to fight with whatever you guys put out there. You lovely folks. So in 30 minutes, our next battle. If I get around to it. So you still got that beef rendering, popping, sizzling away. Got those peppers ready to pop here too. Let's make sure those are ready to explode in any form. Get rid of all those solids. And I know it doesn't look like there's much in there. There's not a ton in there, but we're going to get a little oil out of that. There we go. Little bird's eye pepper seasoned beef fat. So that should all solidify while it sits here and waits. This is the wrong knife for this project. Let's pull out the long boy. 12-incher. Nerdeba. What kind of a word is that? I really need to do Brondad, but I have a secret plan for next month. Maybe even the end of this month. We'll see. Hopefully no one gets to it before me. Of course, I don't even know where I can find decent salt cod. The last time I was making Brondad, words. I was in LA, working on West Beverly. Put this other half of an onion away. Now the effects of the rock are getting distributed throughout my house. I'd be royally annoyed if I had carpet in my house, because there's like a light fine dust of rock everywhere. I'm gonna have to mop this entire house out. I'm still not moving all the rock, and it's more sand than rock. Around the yard yet. Still driving over a small little hill. Buns. Appreciate the enthusiasm tonight. What else we got to go here? We gotta saute our veggies, we gotta sear our steak, and then we gotta put everything together. I think we're gonna do the beef before we're... Oh, should should probably get the water going for the ramen first. How did I cook the veggies? I'm gonna give them a quick saute. You can put them in some cases. They're put in raw. Some cases they're steamed. Most cases they're probably steamed or blanched. I just prefer searing things to. When you're doing anything other than like straight leaves, like you're even with spinach, I tend to prefer pan searing it versus putting it in a steamer or in some boiling water. But that's just my personal preference. It's certainly much more common for, well, most of these restaurants are working with a couple of woks originally. And you look at a lot of the other things, and in my mind, I don't know if this is really true or not, in my mind that's all Western influence on Asian food, is when they started getting like all these other pots and stuff like that, because wok is essentially pot. It means essentially like everything for them. So they're much more likely to, either boil it in the wok or do it in a steamer basket. But I can use my cast iron and maybe get a little seasoning on it and get a little color on it, and that's where I get beauty and color. I mean, do we put some color and some flavor into those greens, or do we seek the perfect photo with those bright, perfect greens that visually on Instagram is going to look great, but mine's going to taste better? It just doesn't look as good. See what this nori is like. I said it earlier, I'll repeat myself from earlier. I'm not typically a fan of nori. I do not like nori wrapped sushi. I don't like that, like almost like sausage skin snap to it a lot of the time. I don't like the flavor of it, and so I'm curious if I like it better when it isn't in the processed form and it's just single pieces. So we'll use some of that with our ramen. And these are all from North Coast, California. There's a bunch of debate. I was looking into the different seafoods of Northern California for this stream, and it seems like there's a little bit of a worry about whether sea urchins are gonna essentially strangle out seaweed in the area or not. And we're actually fighting back by wiping out portions of the sea urchins to promote more seaweed growth. No, it's not Small Joe. Small Joe's 2 words. I'm gonna turn the fan on now, though. So any background noise you've heard up to this point is more likely the immersion circulator. We haven't had a fan going. What is that word? I think it's time to open some wine. We got St. Francis Vineyards, right in the heart of Santa Rosa, which is right in the heart of Sonoma County. Well, it's not right in the heart of Santa Rosa, but it's in Santa Rosa. In fact, they might fight you that it's not in Santa Rosa. I forget if they like being called in Santa Rosa or not. They're a Highway 12 wine. Let's put it. One of the top vineyards to visit as far as dinner is concerned in the area. They've been rated top winery, or is it just overall destination in Sonoma County by what is the name of the reservation company? Open Table. Several years. I don't know if they currently have that title, but they've had it several times in the past. Most likely, doing a cork autopsy here, we have what looks like a higher quality particle cork with caps on either end of real cork. Finding more and more of these days. And St. Francis, pretty big name in Sonoma wine. My cork can is almost getting full. Got about 80% right now. I've got a old, well, it's not an old paint tin, but if you think of what an old paint container used to be, an old paint can, I've got one of those that's been made out of clear material, and I've been filling it with corks for, I don't know, 3 years now? Something like that. Finally getting towards the top. Sweet bread. Something that sounds amazing until you learn what it is. And then, when you get older, you realize, yeah, it was amazing. Now that is a dark wine right there. On color alone, which is typically the only age approximation that I give you folks, is how clear it is able to see through the wine. I mean, it's never going to be crystal clear, but how easy it is to see through the wine is often an indication of drinkability. I am sure there are many people that would fight me on that statement. I'm not an authority on wine. I just like drinking a lot of it. Ooh, all sorts of berry. All sorts of berry. This is about a $20 wine. Well, the darker a wine is, the darker and the harder it is to see through. Actually, I should rephrase this. The darker a wine, the more likely it is to be happy to accept age. In other words, it's a wine that's not necessarily intended to be drank immediately, which is a much smaller percent. They want to give you the impression that all of it's hanging out in cellars forever. The vast majority of it gets drank immediately. And so, when you're looking for a wine that you can give age and will take age, instead of me saying that it's, maybe not ready, it's more that it can hang out in the cellar for a little bit if you want. That's a pretty nice wine. It's a nice cab. It's got a little bit of that peppery tannin. It's not pepper, but it's got a little bit of that tannin bite to it. And a lot of berry. So does that answer your question, Tannic? Awesome. Awesome possum. Okay, I've decided that I'm going to do our water's not even ready for our ramen yet. So the ramen won't take long, or the udon. It's not really ramen tonight, even though I'm calling it ramen. I'm also going to take this seaweed out of the broth now. It has given what flavor it's going to. You can see that it's gone back to looking a lot more like seaweed than what it was when I put it in there. I wonder how long I need to give these eggs. They've certainly seen probably close to an hour now. They're probably pretty good. So I should probably... Let's see. There's a timer. Oh, it's not running. I'm going to guess they've been in there at least 45 minutes. So I'm going to stop it. But there's that much water. It's going to stay at that... close to that temp for considerably longer. This is almost 3 gallons of water. Actually, this is over 3 gallons of water. There's more water in this over here with those 3 eggs than there is in this one over here. So we're waiting on water. We can maybe do our steak if I wanted to rush tonight. But I'm chilling. I'm not interested in rushing tonight. I've been rushing around all day today and trying to get places and get things done. Which, of course, failed miserably. But we're here now, we're hanging out, we're having fun. I got a smile on my face. water. Boiler. So anyways, I mentioned Formula 1. Not much interesting so far with practice 1 and 2. Couple of racers with penalties for getting new engines. There was maybe one spin out at the very end that could be troublesome, but I don't think it's going to bother Alonso. I think he got away with that one. Sea squirrel. That's what my eyes see when I looked at that scrambled word. Nice. There's no bacon in tonight's dinner. I almost feel like I should apologize. I do have bacon. But I mean, bacon in a beef ramen? Don't think so. Don't think so. I don't know what a sea squirrel is in the first place. What is a sea squirrel? What is the squirrel of the sea? What is the rodent that's cute enough that people like it of the sea? I mean, my mind naturally goes to like crab and lobster, but A, those aren't very pretty, and it's more like those are bugs that we find pretty to eat in the sea rather than squirrels or rodents. To a degree. I mean you're using the name of the noodle for the dish. There can't be too much definition going on here. Get our beef cutting board out of the way here. Yeah, chili is a weird one. Oh, hey, we got boiling water. You're reminding me of when I first moved to Sonoma. I used to hang out downtown Santa Rosa a lot. There's a couple coffee shops I used to hang out at downtown. And I overhear this I don't remember if I overheard the conversation or the guy was directly talking to me, not knowing at all that I'm into the culinary world and a chef or anything like that. And he was regaling me how he had created this chili, and he walked it up to the back door of the French Laundry, and they all loved it. And he's going to be selling his chili to the French Laundry, as if any of this was potentially real in any form. And I really don't remember the conversation beyond that. I don't know if he was just trying to tell his buddy that, or if they were somehow trying to impress me with that, without knowing that I'm in the food world in some form and would know that, yeah, no way French Laundry is not making their own chili. Let's go to battle. We're ready for another Stream Raiders battle here. And let's see, can we do... We're probably going to run after everything again like they did last time though. So let's just do haste. Haste just seems... I mean... I wish there was a better buff for either defense or offense than having to pick the specific spot that all the fighting is going to happen when their pathing is going all over the place. Victory. Clean fight. Only one loss, it looks like. Good fight there. Tanic with the kills. Shimmy with the assists. Bun Buns with the rewards, though. And now that blue chest. We'll see what pops up here. I'll put this pretty much where it can go anywhere. See what we get. Alright, we got ladling with our broth. I thought I got both of those out of there. There was more in there than I thought. I'll leave the ginger in there. And the garlic. So let's start with our sauteing our veggies. Now that our water's up to temp. I'm figuring that I can saute the veggies and then set them aside while I do the steak, even though the steak's going to take longer than the veggies, because the veggies are going in the broth. They're going to be reheated by that broth in no time. And that way the steak, you know, is done and ready to go when it's ready. So we'll pull that out of the way. We're going to prep our mushrooms for going into the bowl. cutesy little things down there. And cook the mushrooms in the broth. Or use the broth to cook the mushrooms. Oh yeah, Tanik, you look back at older recipes and the less descriptive they are. It's very much a modern thing that we're so descriptive with everything. You look at like give me one moment. You look at like a Scoffier, which is one of the past gods of the kitchen. And his recipes, where they're all small. Let's see if I can't find like. Yeah. It's sort of like if you've ever read a sorry, don't want to set off my smoke alarm. If you've ever read a choose your own adventure book where you read to a point and you're like you go to such and such page if you think you should go do this, or you keep reading otherwise, or it's sort of the same thing here, where he'll have, a basic description of a pork dish, but the methods of preparation specially suitable for a pig's liver are da 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 da, and so go research which one of those you want, and then when you research the parts of that goes into that one, and then research the parts of the parts of the parts of the parts. And so the whole book is like very, very broken down recipes that you sort of have to pair together in order to build a full dish. But it's not just, the Scoffier is, right there at the beginning of restaurants in the culture world, even though now we're finding like Egyptian restaurants and stuff later, but he takes the claim for most of the modern restaurant stuff. And yeah, it's all. But if you look at other books of that same time period, it's not something specific to him. It's how recipes were written back then. It was, okay, it's potato cut up, and then you can serve it this way, and then you gotta look up everything else. So heat back on over here now that I'm back concentrating on cooking. Starting with our garlic and our ginger. A little sunflower oil. Just for cooking. The pan's hot, the oil ain't hot yet. Hey Suki, happy Friday yourself. Glad to see you in. I've really got to change that message for my socials. I tried to make it so that it looked like it was, you know, straight lines across with Twitch's fixed, like, typical fixed width. But, yeah, we might have to change that. Okay, that pan's warm enough now. Just barely warm enough. I cut you, didn't I? Apparently not. Maybe we'll take that uncut ginger out. Use only the cut ginger here. Gonna add a bit more oil with that. We'll add our onions in with that. It's one heck of a scramble, ain't it? Since we're cooking with soy tonight, we'll hit that with a little soy. Okay, and then just quickly in with our bok choy, just until this cooks a little bit. The onions, garlic, and ginger, that can hang out in the pan. This is just a quick, make sure those see some heat. And then cut the top. I think you were close there, Tannic. Oloroso, it's probably, yeah, isn't, it's sounding very alcoholic to me. And we'll pull those veggies back out of the pan here. Let them hang out in the bowl here. Turn the heat back on. Pull our steak out here. We're going to give this a rinse off. We wanted those to penetrate quickly into the steak. Just give it a little bit light flavoring. But these are, especially that hoisin is going to burn on the pan. So just giving a little bit of light flavor and a quick rinse off and dry time. Someone Google that and remind me what Oloroso is. That's reminding me like some sort of like fortified wine or something. I love the nose on this wine. The palate on it is very inoffensive. I don't think it's gonna mess with many dishes. It would probably, I mean, they're trying to create something that'll work with everything. It's a sherry. Nice, nice. But you can also tell that marinade definitely had an effect on that beef. You can actually see, like, it's actually denatured the surface there. Probably mostly the soy that did that. But now we got a nice pan over here. Let's add a little oil into that nicely smoking pan back here. Starting to smoke from all the leftovers of the garlic, ginger, bok choy in there. Heavily salt our filet. Sorry about bumping the camera there, folks. What am I serving ramen in tonight? I think it's going to be one of these bowls. steak's gonna have to rest for a good 3 to 4 minutes. Let's give this proper place to rest once it is able to rest. Rest is a good thing, Bun Buns. Not. I worry about people who don't get proper sleep. Proper sleep. Important. Wow, Tannic. Guessing a left field one there. That's looking a lot like ravioli in term. 4 a.m. How am I getting so many people that are up at like so late at night? I love having you here, but please sleep. Heat off in the pan here. We're doing pretty good there. That's still medium rare territory. I just wanted to get a little bit of that center, a little bit of color. Yeah, I wish I could stream it more like 10 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning. But this is when I eat dinner. I'm gonna throw these last two with the marinade on in the pan. See if I can't peel myself an egg while this is resting. Got 3 chances to do this. So our egg whites didn't completely solidify. Oh yeah, that's an egg that's gonna have to get chopped once it's in the soup. Even though I should have given it longer, I should have given it closer to 90 seconds instead of just 60 seconds. It had been long enough that I had forgotten how I did those in the past. So, my bad. Throw my noodles in the pot. Not if you have an immersion circulator. It's stupid easy with an immersion circulator. Just heat it up all together, leave it in the immersion circulator for however long you want it. You pull it out You give it a good blend right when you pull it out. Don't have to worry about this emulsion thing. Just put it in the blender, blend it up, and solidifies. Stays perfect. It'll hold until you refrigerate it. It'll break when you try to reheat it, but it'll stay solid otherwise. Just Google immersion circulator hollandaise or sous vide hollandaise. Seeing how close we are to done with our noodles. No, you don't need an emulsion blender, you need an immersion circulator. Just put all the ingredients in a bag, throw it in there at the right temperature, and then you can put it in your normal blender and just blend it, it comes all together. Calling our noodles done. Bunch of green onion, bunch of our veggies and bok choy. Put our mushrooms here along the side. We got our steak over here. I'm going to cut against the green. Even though it's tenderloin. Get our broth in there. Actually, let's do our egg first, since the egg is going to be a bit messy. Lastly, our beef broth. Well, not lastly, actually. We've got our beef fat that I'm going to throw in the pan that was cooking our steak in. to melt. We're gonna grab now that it's nice and melted. Add a little of that beef fat over the top of our dish. A little bit more green onion. Yep. Why make it complicated? Oh, hey. We got some other goodies to go in here, too, that I'm forgetting. Taking photos already. Haven't even finished putting everything in here. We got our radish microgreens. And we got our nori. So, as I said, could be a bit greener, but I still think that's going to be a delicious bowl of soup. So I'm happy for that. I think that turned out pretty well. Let's do our Stream Raiders battle that I've been ignoring yet again. Let's see how we can do here. Got all sorts of help this round. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Victory! Victory! Titanic getting those kills. Suki helping out with this. Who's gonna get the 200 gold? Congrats, Titanic. That's a nice pick up there. And we're gonna leave it there. We got one more before we do the boss. That'll be the first two of next Sunday's stream. What are we doing on Sunday? What's coming up here on Sunday? What's new in this world? Let's see what we got here. We got Bologna Day, which I'm gonna do a couple of different dishes using bologna. Just gonna have some fun with it. Gonna try some. I'm not gonna go too wild with it. I'm gonna do. Oh, at least gonna do like burgers with one of it. The other one, we'll see how it comes out. Hope you join me for that. We do have the Discord vote going on right now between vodka pasta sauce and hoisin sauce. Hoisin's got an early lead here, looking like gonna be using a bit more hoisin that I picked up today. So we'll see. Either one of these, I'm a little when it comes to dessert. Even though there's a ton of sugar in both of these. Both of these are full of sugar. Whether it's the tomatoes that are But anyways, I'm stuck having to eat this instead right now. Let's see here. Who can we give a raid to tonight? Who can we say hello to? I actually think we're going to call it there. I'm going to call it a night right there. I'm not going to host anyone up. I hope you all join me again on Sunday. Or on Wednesday, or next Friday. I've got some cool ideas for things to come in the future here. Beyond, I don't have much on the actual calendar beyond this month. But we do have 2 nights of Halloween coming up at the end of this month. I've got all sorts of fun dishes planned for that. And, yeah. I hope you enjoyed my version of local ramen. I'm sort of following another streamer who's been streaming. I don't think he's live right now. But, John Leung has been sort of sponsoring this whole week of local focused ramen. We'll see, what all pops up from the food world from that. Thank you for joining me tonight. Good night now. See you. What did you forget, Tanic? What did you forget? Why, thank you. Thank you for that sub. Thank you, Tanic. Alright, so I'm gonna go and eat this before it all gets too cold. Thank you all for joining me. Hope to see you again. Good night.